When you hear the words Zolm and Zalem, someone with a whip in hand and someone wounded and tortured come to your mind. Hence, you might never assume yourself as a Zalim or Mazlum. You see the same concept in most of the translations and interpretations of the Quran, but let's look at the dictionaries and lexicons. Zalim and Zolm are rooted from Zalama, which means continuous darkness. So Zalim means a continuous darkener. In darkness, the reality of objects becomes vague and unclear. Darkness is not a reality, but it is a concept in our perception. When an object does not appear in one's perception, it is said to be in the darkness. In simple words, everything we cannot see or perceive is in darkness with respect to us. What we know as the world is a part of the creation that our genetic structure has enabled us to perceive. Therefore, an entity is in darkness with respect to us when we are not meant to perceive it, such as not seeing and not hearing the entire spectrum of electromagnetic and sound waves, respectively. Our structure has been damaged and has lost its natural ability to perceive, such as loss of sight or sense of taste. So, in the Quran's point of view, Zalim is a person who hurts himself or someone else by a behavior or thought, such that the damage decreases the person's ability to perceive himself or the creation. Even preventing someone from developing his talent may be an example of Zolm. Perhaps the reason that torturers are called Zalim is because of the damage they impose on others or themselves. Zolm is similar to kofr in meaning, but their difference is that in kofr, covering or hiding does not hurt anything or anybody, while in Zolm, the damage certainly causes the covering or hiding. The difference between kofr and Zolm is similar to the difference between an ignorant person who does not see something because of his ignorance and a person who is blind. Both of them may not see something, but the former is an example of kofr, while the latter is an example of Zolm. Considering the real meaning of the word Zolm and Quran's verses, it is inferred that in most of the time one can be Zalim to himself. Considering the meaning of Zolm, aren't the following Zolm? Smoking, drug use, austerity or mortification, teaching or believing superstition, prevention from understanding the truth of the Quran and religion, presenting a distorted meaning of Quran's verses, overeating, air pollution, illiteracy, and many more actions and behaviors that lead to loss or damage, or prevent someone from developing his talents. All of these are instances of Zolm that cause defects in us. Why are key words of the Quran not translated correctly? Aren't these false translations and interpretations instances of Zolm? Quran is never distorted in its real nature. These are the translations that have hidden the true meaning of Quran's verses over centuries. Who is profiting from these distortions and secrecies?
By subscribing to our websites and channels, help us to spread peace and health in the world and stop religious abuses.